Opendoor just closed out one of the wildest weeks in its history. Thursday's rally, where the stock exploded by 80% in a single day to close at $10.52, was one of those moments that completely resets how people look at a company. Friday brought some profit-taking, and the stock closed down about 13.8% at $9.07. But in the context of the week, that wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a healthy consolidation after a parabolic move, and the aftermarket even saw the stock tick back up slightly, suggesting that $9 is becoming the new floor. That sets the stage for something much bigger, because this weekend isn't just the pause between trading sessions. It's the calm before a real storm of transformation. On Monday morning, Kaz Nejatian officially begins his role as the new CEO of Opendoor. And that changes everything. This isn't just another executive shuffle. It's a complete reset of the company's story. Alongside Kaz's appointment, co-founders Keith Rabois and Eric Wu have returned to the board, with Rabois stepping into the role of chairman. Wu and Kozler Ventures are putting in $40 million of fresh equity capital. The founders are back. Leadership is aligned. And a new vision is being launched. This is why Thursday's rally was so powerful. It wasn't just momentum traders chasing a spike. It was the market recognizing that something fundamental had changed. For months, Opendoor was drifting with interim leadership and soft guidance, while short sellers piled in with nearly a quarter of the float sold short. The narrative was stuck. But then, in a single announcement, the whole story shifted. The company went back into what Rabois called founder mode, and the stock reacted with force. So who is Kaz Nejatian, and why is his arrival so important? Kaz spent the last 6 years at Shopify, one of the most important e-commerce platforms in the world. As Chief Operating Officer and Vice President of Product, he helped build the teams and products that gave millions of entrepreneurs the tools to change their businesses, their communities, and their lives. He was known for driving efficiency, cutting unnecessary costs, scaling products globally, and building systems that worked at enormous scale. But more than that, Kaz is an AI-native leader. He isn't trying to catch up with AI. He already sees how it can reshape entire industries, and has spoken clearly about how it will be central to Opendoor's mission. When Keith Rabois announced his appointment, he said there was literally only one choice for the job. That's high praise, but it also tells you something about the seriousness of this decision. Rabois isn't someone who casually comes back to chair a board. He does it when he sees unfinished business, when he sees a chance to unlock value and realize the vision he helped start. Eric Wu, too, rejoining the board signals the same thing. This is a return of the founder DNA, the passion and vision that built the company in the first place. Together with Kaz, they bring a combination of product vision, operational excellence, and founder credibility that is incredibly powerful. That's why Monday is so symbolic. It's not just the start of a new week. It's the moment this leadership reset becomes real. It's the day Kaz walks into the office as CEO. It's the day Rabois takes the chairman's seat and Wu rejoins the board. It's the day the $40 million insider investment starts fueling the mission. And it's the day the market has to start valuing Opendoor as something different than what it's been treated as up to now. This isn't just a cyclical housing stock anymore. It's an AI-powered platform with visionary leadership, founder passion, and credible capital behind it. When you combine that with what's happening on the chart, it's an even stronger story. Thursday's rally was the surge. Friday's decline was the consolidation. And now, with the stock holding above $9, we're seeing the base for the next phase. This is how real rallies are built. Not in straight lines, but in waves. Surges, pullbacks, consolidations, and then fresh legs higher. $9 looks like the new floor. And with 24% of the float still short, the potential for force covering remains high. But the short squeeze angle, while exciting, isn't the whole story. As Eric Jackson has said many times, the real focus is on Opendoor transforming into the Amazon of real estate. If shorts get squeezed along the way, that's an added bonus, but it's not the mission. The mission is bigger. It's about redefining how people buy and sell homes. It's about using AI and data to make transactions faster, simpler, and more certain. It's about creating a platform that empowers people, just as Shopify did for entrepreneurs. That brings us to Eric Jackson himself. While the stock has been consolidating, Jackson has been on an absolute media blitz in New York. He's been on Yahoo Finance, he's called into Fox News, and he's spoken at Anthony Pompliano's sold-out investor summit. Everywhere you look, he's pushing the message of the open army, promoting the idea that Opendoor is a generational company in the making. This matters because it takes the story from being just a retail cult stock on X to something being discussed in mainstream financial media and investor conferences. It adds legitimacy. It widens the audience. And it reinforces the idea that this isn't hype, it's conviction. There's also a cultural element that's worth mentioning. Reports suggest that someone from Drake's team has been engaging with Jackson's updates online. Now, does that mean Drake is about to buy shares of Opendoor? Probably not. But it does mean the stunt of spending 22 days outside Drake's house wasn't wasted. It caught attention, created a hook, and brought cultural energy into the story. In today's markets, where narrative often drives capital flows, that kind of cultural traction is a valuable amplifier. So as we head into the weekend, here's how I see it. The sell-off on Friday was about profit-taking after an extraordinary move. The aftermarket gain shows that $9 is likely the new floor. The leadership reset becomes real on Monday when Kaz Nejatian officially takes over. Eric Jackson is broadening the story through mainstream media and investor conferences. Shorts are still trapped with a quarter of the float on the line. And next week's Federal Reserve decision on interest rates could be another powerful catalyst. I remain bullish not because I expect the stock to skyrocket overnight, but because the foundation is now stronger than it's ever been. The leadership team is aligned. The founders are back. An AI-first CEO with proven experience is in place. Insider capital has been committed. And the retail community has conviction. That's a combination that doesn't come around often. Opendoor's mission has always been about more than just flipping houses. It's about making homeownership simpler, faster, and more certain. Kaz Nejatian has said it clearly. With AI, we have the tools to make homeownership radically better, and that's what he intends to build. That's not a one-week story. That's a generational mission. So whether the stock is $9, $10, or even dips back into the 8s, the bigger picture hasn't changed. This is the start of a new era. Monday marks the official beginning of that transformation. And for the Open Army, it's the time to focus less on daily ticks and more on the long-term vision. Because this is how generational companies are built. They're built with conviction, leadership, and vision. And right now, Opendoor has all three.